Alright, shalom, Hebrews. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Alright, Israelites, we got to start asking ourselves this question. We got to start asking ourselves, why do people in the world don't see us so-called transatlantic slave trade descendants as the Israelites? What happened? Now, we know we broke covenant and we abandoned covenant, and we went into Africa to do the Egyptian religion. But do these other religions and ethnic groups that come off our heritage, do they know this? No. Who do Judaism see as the Israelites? Who do Judaism see as the Israelites? Judaism see the Sephardists. The Judaism see the Ethiopians. Judaism see the Arabics, Sephardim, and Mahazari, the Mahazari communities, that's all across North Africa and so forth. They see them as Israelites. And then, man, it even see the people from India, the Indian Jews from India. Man, they see them, man, as Israelites. Judaism see people that convert to Judaism, as Israelites. I explained in a whole bunch of videos how after we broke covenant and then a long time ago, when they developed Judaism off our Israelite heritage and how they took, it all around the world. And they converted a lot of folks. And then all them folks that was converted in the BC days, after 332 BC, and all the folks that was converted after then, man, them folks see themselves as Israelites, and that's going to be some of these folks right here. They see themselves as Israelites. I already explained, how the Sephardi got, into our heritage and, where they come from. But Judaism, the religion that they control, man, they see them as Israelites. Where do we fit in this picture? We don't. Okay. Who do Christianity see as the Israelites? Man, Christianity see Ashkenazi as the Israelites. Christianity see the European stock of the human family as the Israelites. They see the what we would call Caucasians. They see them as the Israelites. Christianity do, and we see this in Western culture easily. They don't see us so-called transatlantic slave trade descendants as Israelites. I'm going to explain why. But who do Christianity see as Israelites? It see Ashkenazi as the Israelites. And it makes sense because when Christianity was developed, Ashkenazi was around. Ashkenazi was around in our heritage and had been in our heritage, man, a long time. And Ashkenazi was in this place called Scythopolis, in the Discopolis cities. And Ashkenazi been in our heritage, man, a long time. Scythopolis is man, it was one of the head city of the Discopolis, and Jesus was even there during this time. And I think, man, I don't know if I made a video. I ain't made a video explaining. I made some posts on social media explaining, why Jesus didn't mention the people, the Ashkenazi in the Discopolis cities, and specifically Scythopolis. See, look. Scythopolis now Bethshan was strategically located at ancient crossroads and thrived during Jesus' time. Jesus visited during competitive games and later spread teachings throughout the Discopolis cities. That's where he spent just about all his time. Scythopolis. Matter of fact, Scythopolis is so important that the Roman Catholic sees was there. I think it's the second place that it's set up. Meaning the sees was there. All the bishops that made Christianity what it is was in Scythopolis. Was in Scythopolis. And Scythopolis is the Scythians, who come from, Ukraine and Germany and all parts north. And Prophet Jeremiah called them down, men, to chase us out the land during the Babylonian wars with the Chaldean nation. The Ashkenazi made up the Chaldean nation under the name Scythian, and then they were settled in Scythopolis and been there since the Babylonian wars. And Jesus spent his time there, and he didn't have no understanding of that. Now check this out. Christianity was developed in Scythopolis before it even got to Turkey with the Council of Nicaea in 332 BC in Turkey. How in Scythopolis, in the Promised Land, in ancient Bethshean, where Ashkenazi was, and who had synagogues throughout the Discopolis cities, they had knowledge, Israelite heritage, and had been in our heritage since the Babylonian wars and so forth. And Christianity was developed there with all its bishops. So Christianity gonna see the peoples looking like this as Israelites, the people who developed Christianity, and this is who, Christianity see as the Israelites. They see Ashkenazi as the Israelites, people that look like them, British Israelism, they go way back where, a lot of people is connected to the Israelite heritage, and they connection to the Israelite heritage is going to be off the Ashkenazi community. All right, Israelites, who do Islam see as the Israelites? The Mahazari community, Sephardim, they see the Sephardi, because the Sephardim, they was there before Islam creation in Arabia. The Jews in Arabia, the Jewish community in Arabia, the Sephardim been there, and then a lot of the Edomites that converted to Judaism in 130 BC, that it include the Ammonites, the Moabites, and the all the tribes, the Amorites, all the tribes that we was against, or that wasn't supposed to get our heritage, was there before Islam was created. And then, when Islam was created, the Ethiopian Jewish community, was in existence, and they had Jews, the Jewish community in China existed, all these pigmented folks, the Jewish communities all across North Africa when Islam was created. And when Islam was created, this what it seen as the Israelites. It seen the peoples that look like this as the Israelites. It didn't see us, transatlantic slave trade descendants, as the Israelites, because we had abandoned the covenant during the Babylonian wars. That's a long time. That's a long time, I'm talking about, that's a long time from the time that Islam was created. That's a long time from the time that Christianity was created, for us to be out of our heritage in these religions, see and look at these other ethnic groups as Israelites. Who do Islam see as the Israelites? To see the Sephardi, first of all, because when it was created, he was in Arabia. The Sephardim, he was in Arabia. He looked like this. You know what I'm saying? He was in Arabia. And then when he went over to Ethiopia, you know what I'm saying? Islam would see them as Israelites. They didn't get bothered. They didn't get transported during the transatlantic slave trade. And Islam would, see its parent stock. as the Israelites, the Sephardim. And then, like I say, when Islam was created, these folks had been in our heritage a long time and had been seen as Israelites, man, a long time. So, these religions that represent what they call the Abrahamic religions, they don't know truth and don't have truth because it don't know who the real Israelites are. Those religions don't know that the real Israelites broke covenant during the Babylonian wars for Egyptian religion. Look at this here. Look at this here. Those are the Jewish. See, that's Ashkenazi up in the north. Christianity will see them as the Israelites. And then, when you get down in the south, Islam and Judaism would see these ethnic groups, with the Israelite heritage and so forth. And then the Sephardi, like I say, he took our heritage all around, converting folks everywhere, all in India, China, and so forth. There go the Chinese ones right there. All in India and China, everywhere, spreading the Israelite heritage around and then making them people think that they are Israelites because of a religion, not because of birth, not because of a birthright. Look, he was everywhere. Man, he was everywhere. So, Islam see these folks. That's why come these stock was able to prosper in Islamic countries like now. You got Sephardim and Mahazari and all of them in Arabic Islamic countries, and they're not being molested in any kind of way. Nothing is being done to them because Islam seen them as the Israelites. That's like up north. When they go up north, where Ashkenazi got control because Christianity only seen Ashkenazi as the Israelites, that them folks have problems. This is where the proxy wars been coming in from all over the world. If you break them down and trace them back, it's going to go to the Sephardi and Ashkenazi fighting over the Israelite heritage. And I had a little history. Voila. Voila, right on time. And look here. All right. The Sephardic idea has always been understood in the terms of political moderation and community unity. Rarely did Sephardim lose their internal cohesion, that is, until the process of cultural erosion set in. Following the Ashkenazi lead, Sephardim abandoned their traditional culture and adapted to the fractious Ashkenazi model under the rubric of a single Jewish nation. The Sephardi, particularly with its cultural genius and sophisticated social morals, has become a lost value. That's because Ashkenazi took the Israelite heritage over. And then if you go to the Promised Land or anywhere in Western culture who support Ashkenazi, it's gonna be the Christian religious folks in the Christian religious people, because Christianity was developed under Ashkenazi control, and that's all it seemed as the Israelites. Yeah, you got in the think the Catholic Church or other places where they knew that Sephardim was in the Promised Land, and that Sephardim, the Romanic Jewish community, supposed to be the oldest, and that they're related to the Sephardi, and that they had pigmentation and so forth, what they call olive skin to a degree and so forth. So you would have pictures of pigmented of biblical peoples from the New Testament era and so forth. All right, Israelites. I want to show y'all why these folks don't recognize us as Israelites. Is because during the Babylonian Wars, we real Israelites say that we don't want to be connected to our heritage, and that how we wanted African culture and things associated with it, and that how we didn't want to be the representation of Yah's law on earth. That's why these religions, when they sprung up, and how the earth is not cured from its sin, and that how these religions kind of like promote sin in a sense, because they ain't leading you to real truth and so forth. All right, we Israelites broke the covenant during what's called the Babylonian Wars, all the tribes, and there wasn't no 10 lost tribes, and how we said that we wanted to go into Africa to do the Egyptian religion, and then that's what brought Ashkenazi to our land, and that's how Christianity was able to be developed. That's how Christianity was able to be developed, is because we Israelites said we didn't want to do the covenant. The same with Judaism. The Sephardi couldn't have created Judaism if we Israelites wouldn't have said that we didn't want to do the covenant that Moses gave us. That's the same way with Islam. Islam couldn't exist. Islam couldn't exist because the people, who it's seen as Israelites wouldn't have been known as Israelites if we real Israelites wouldn't have broke the covenant. See, how do these peoples that's claiming the Israelite heritage get to keep the Israelite title? Plain and simple, is because the curses wouldn't affect them that Moses put on the real Israelites. You see, the real Israelites would be subjected to forced labor, kidnapped, took into a strange land, and the loss of heritage and everything for breaking the covenant, as stated in the book of Deuteronomy, which contain the curses. So, these peoples that got the Israelite heritage wouldn't lose their heritage under an Israelite title, is because they're not the real Israelites. They just was in the Israelite land when the Israelites left. Our ancestors left. That's like the Sephardi was there under the title Amorite. He was there under the title Amorite, and then when we real Israelites left, then he gon' start claiming the Israelite heritage with the Israelite title. And it makes sense, that them people knew what the worth, because they was responsible for Babylon's God's history and its religions in the East, that they knew what the worth of a heritage was if somebody abandoned it, especially ours, and if they got control of it, then they can control a whole lot of things and be seen as the chosen people, which would give them, earth rights to do a lot of things and not be molested, especially if people are familiar with biblical history, and they made sure that when they created the press and Chronicle will spread our history around to everybody under the disguise of Christianity. And look, Christianity can see them as Israelites, is why it's not just outright, dealing with them, and how Christianity, Ashkenazi mostly deal with them through Christianity, and then they mostly deal back with Ashkenazi through Islam, because these folks was from Islamic countries and so forth, and they been there. And then that's how the proxy wars been going on, that he created Christianity to fight these folks to take control, and then they created this religion to fight back. And then they been fighting over our heritage ever since we abandoned it during the Babylonian Wars. And then this has happened. And I got some videos with that title, that we abandoned heritage. And if you go back and look at them videos, I'm explaining in detail how we abandoned heritage to those folks, and how we was out of our mind to want to go into Egypt, meant to do some Egyptian religion. You know, Almighty Yah said he would destroy the Egyptians, and the Egyptians were destroyed. So we went and lost our heritage for a culture that couldn't exist after Almighty Yah's destruction. So it's like we abandoned our heritage for nothing because Egypt got destroyed. The ancient Egyptians is not here. They is not here, and they ain't never coming back. They ain't never coming back. We coming back to the promised land, but the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians who tricked us out of heritage, ain't never coming back to rule their lands no more. Alright? This is us doing that stupid stuff. Look. Go to Jeremiah 44. And then when you get down to 15, then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by a great multitude, even all the people that dwelled in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Elohim, we will not hearken unto thee, but we will certainly do so whatever thing go forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings, our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. But since we left off to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by sword and famine. So we said, because we wasn't in Africa doing the Egyptian religion, that was the reason why everything was breaking bad for us during the Babylonian Wars. Now, this is something else, man, I want to point out. They got all these images, and all three of these religions see these ethnic groups that kind of look like them as the Israelites, but never did they go back and look in ancient times and see what the ancient folks said the Israelites look like. That's an Israelite right there. That's an Israelite, an ancient Israelite. An ancient Israelite being dogged out during the Assyrian times because they was on the Egyptian religion brung from Jeroboam out of Egypt after Solomon's death. So the northern kingdom, especially the army who protected the Egyptian religion, man, they suffered terribly. They suffered terribly under the Assyrians' hand. Man, they was getting beat down, whooped, and everything. The same way the things that was happening, man, to us, men in slavery. Man, they did us real bad. Man, they stuck poles up the Israelites. Man, behind me, they did so much stuff to us, man. They did so much stuff to us, man. When they, those Israelites that was on Egyptian religion since 931 BC, that when the Assyrians came to get them, to take them off to bondage, and to be beat down and stuff, and to be put on the front line to fight the Assyrians army, man, they still got relics of that in the British Museum. I wanted to get there. I was trying to get to the UK, and still might can. Man, I wouldn't mind seeing some of this stuff. But them was the Israelites, man, that the Assyrians took off and made them do some work, man, because they was on Egyptian religion. The whole northern kingdom, 10 tribes on Egyptian religion, and wouldn't stop that stuff. So Almighty Yah turned out friends and the enemies, and them folks snatched them up, Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, man, and took them there. They were stationed throughout the other tribes because they was the army, the fighters. But when the king of Assyria snatched them up, man, he dogged them out. They got dogged out so bad, man, that they got relics and stuff of it because they couldn't believe that they had Yah's army under control. Every time they dog us out, man, they gonna make a portraits of it. Because they can't believe they looked how the Israelites fell into their hands and so forth. And the Assyrians knew how we were going back to Prophet Jonah going there, and then the Assyrians getting right. That'll be in the book of Jonah. All right. And if you go here, all right, second, that's First Chronicles. All right. And then you get to 18, First Chronicles 5:18. And the sons of Reuben and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh of valiant men able to bear buckler and sword, and to shoot with bow, skillful in war, with 44,760 that went out to war. All right, now look, protecting that Egyptian religion, gonna get them snatched up. Look. And the Yah of Israel stirred up the spirit of Paul, king of Assyria, and the spirit of Talcomnazer, king of Assyria, and he carried them away, even the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh. That is going to work. The Judeans and you know what I'm saying? I think he conquered Judea and probably got some of the folks that ran there, because you know if they coming from the east and coming west, and that everybody ain't gonna just stay. Everybody just ain't gonna stay in the land and get captured, and then how everybody gonna run off to Judah parts. But because they was on Egyptian religion, that they would get snatched up. And I think Prophet Ezekiel even mentioned the blow of the trumpet, that if the trumpet is brought against the land, and then you ain't ready to go and run and hide after the trumpet is blown when the enemies come, then that's on you. Then you got yourself taken away and stuff. Let's see if I can find that, man. I love reading that, you know. All right. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I used to love to read that. The desolation of Egypt is Ezekiel 30, and it's a verse in Jeremiah 2. Let me see. But if the wicked, all right. Again, the Elohim. This is 33, I think. Yes. Again, this Ezekiel 33. Again, the word of the Elohim came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto the children of thy people, and say unto them, when the sword is brung, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he bloweth the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. See, those Israelites that was came and taken away was on Egyptian religion. They was protecting the Egyptian religion. But back then, those ancient societies made relics of the Israelites, because it was like a prized possession. It was like a prized possession. And then that's what the Israelites look back. And this wasn't associated with a religion. This is people celebrating their victory over the tribes of Israel. And they wouldn't make no mistakes, man, of how they look. You see what I'm saying? And us gonna be us, the folks, you know, that eventually will run into Africa, man, to do the Egyptian religion. See, so, you know, like Almighty Yah said, that if he bring the sword, men, against the land, and then you don't take off, then this is gonna happen to you. This is gonna happen to you. And then that's what happened to the Israelites that was protecting Egyptian religion, since Jeroboam brought it out of Egypt on the northern kingdom. But the ancient people seen who the Israelites was before the Israelite heritage fell into the other people's hand after we abandoned it. And then this is why Judaism see these folks as the Israelites instead of the original people who broke the covenant and who were subjected to punishment, because there's no escaping Almighty Yah's word and judgment. as these folks have under the Israelite title. But who do Judaism see as the Israelites? It see all the other ethnic groups that have converted to Judaism. It even see many Israelite as what they call part of the Jewish community if he convert men to Judaism. But that ain't what we Israelites supposed to do. You know, we're going to take back control of our heritage because we're starting to put it into order, and we can explain how these religions and how these different ethnic groups got our heritage. All right, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood, and I pray that this message was informative because, you know, we got to get past these religions and the peoples that believe in these religions who only seen these ethnic stocks as Israelites. We got to get around this. And I show you how to get around it is that we went into Africa during the Babylonian wars to do the Egyptian religion, and they didn't record this. They didn't record their victory over us like the Assyrians and the other nations did who made monuments after us, displaying how we look and so forth. All right, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood.